Okay. Hey guys, welcome to the newest release roundup 1.2. Today we have Nick with us, who was in charge of this release, and we have Alex, who was also like managing the release from the product management perspective. So 1.2, Alex, on the high level, what are the main things that we are dropping today?
Right. So we will keep this presentation short and efficient. On the agenda today, we have two main features to cover that were released in 1.2 version of the Semaphore. Those two features are Markdown reports and also Git agnostic integration or generic Git integration that allows users to connect pretty much any Git to Semaphore now. We will also briefly touch up on what's next in 1.3, but the main focus will be on these two features that we will go through now, and that's kind of it. I guess we can start with Markdown reports. All
Sure.
right, so let me share screen real quick. I have all the tabs ready here. All right, so what are Markdown
Can you
reports? Oh,
can you share? Yeah,
yes, I'm sharing. Maybe this needs some time to load up.
maybe it's something on my side. Okay.
There we go. All right. So, what are Markdown reports? Markdown reports are a new tab that exists on job and workflow page that pretty much renders the Markdown files that you can store in artifacts. Why? We'll go through the feature itself and how it works and what are some use cases. But what just want to cover real quick the main reason why we added this feature. In Semaphore, we have bunch of various different views that allow for users to quickly find the issue in their builds. And over time, we added a lot of additional features and metrics and views, but you can never really cater to every single user need. Over time, we realized that we need something that would allow users to build their custom views on these two levels, both workflow and job level. We can cover some examples, but that's pretty much it. This feature is um, it allows you to tailor the UI on these two pages in any way you want to, and also gives you, as someone that's maybe managing your Semaphore CI/CD pipeline in a project, a way to present the information in some creative new ways to your development team. Right. So how does this look like and how does it work? If you go, and by the way, this is available on both cloud and community edition versions. So for all the users that are on Cloud Semaphore, you can access this feature starting today on all the plans. If you go to any workflow or the job, you will notice this new tab here that's called report. And what this tab does, it renders the markdown file that you have generated and published to artifacts. No, I cannot access artifacts here, but the file has a naming sequence that's just report.md. And if you push it to the workflow, it will just render like this, right? So in addition to that, there is also the same type of report available on the actual job level. So there is a reports tab here also. So if you push report.md file as a job level artifact, it will render in the job page tab. And if you push it as a workflow artifact, it will render on the workflow page. The report itself can contain whatever you want as long as it's in the markdown format. It's safe to use. We have some creative examples prepared, and we also updated or we are in the process of pushing the update for our test results CLI that would make at least one use case for these reports easier to push and generate. But we have two examples prepared for you. and we can cover them right now. In this one example, we are generating some additional metrics on the job level. So this job executed Golang tests, and if I go to the reports tab, I will see some, oh, it's loading up. I will see some few additional metrics that I didn't have access to before. So in here, we have created this report that collects the duration of each command within the job and maps it out to this Gantt chart like. We support Mermaid.js, which is the same library that GitHub uses, for example, to render these fancy charts. So you can really expand this and use it in some creative ways like this one. So here we are using Mermaid.js Gantt in order to display the duration of each command. So job command timeline can be super useful when you're debugging your jobs and you're noticing increase or decrease in duration and want to see and identify which commands are the longest. It's a bit hard to do from the job log. Here you have timestamps, but here you have a nice visual representation. It's just an example of one way to use the reports. Additional example that we have here, not many users know this, but on the cloud machines that we have, there is this one file that collects metrics on the resource usage. So right now we're extracting those in this example and pushing them to report.markdown in order to generate the metrics for the resource usage, in this case, CPU, memory, and disk usage for the machine that was executing this job over time. And you can also use Mermaid.js charts, in this case, XY type of chart to generate this nice chart that shows you usage times. Yeah. So this particular report is something that we want to make simple for users to build on their own. And that's why we are working on this extension of our test results CLI. If you are using our test reports like these in Semaphore, you're already familiar with test results CLI. So we're extending it a bit so that creating these particular metrics and reports here on job level is very, very easy. You just call to commands test results command metrics report MD, and that will create a report MD and build this chart with Gantt view of the duration for each command, and running test results resource metrics, and then also referencing report MD will add this resource usage on job level. This was something that was frequently requested over time by multiple customers, so we wanted to make this easy. Platform team had it as a solution, but before, you had to just print out the values from that file on the machine in the job log. Now, with this simple step, you can push them to this new reports feature and have the visual overview for each job right off the bat. So that's one example of how you can use these new reports. But as I mentioned, they're very flexible. In the other example, Nick has created a bash script in test results CLI, and he has generated this workflow level report. So this is on workflow level that builds this markdown with some interesting data related to code coverage in this case, and some other useful tidbits. So this script runs in a job, and in this case gives you the code coverage report, commit info, workflow debug info, etc. You can actually see this script in our test results repository, which is public. So that's just vibe coding script that we've used to just illustrate how really useful these reports can be and how flexible they are and how customizable they are. I won't go through the details of the script. It's just an example, but what it does is just builds this one Markdown report, and of course we're publishing it as a workflow artifact in order for it to end up in this report tab. So it's simple as that. Very simple feature, but also very powerful and flexible. Allows you to, if you found some visual view lacking in Semaphore, or you have some crazy custom setup that you would like to present to your team and developers, you can now do it natively in the UI of Semaphore and not rely on some custom dashboards or have to worry about the UI. Just use Markdown. We are interested in extending this, and we will be listing additional examples and usages, use cases for this feature. But if you're creative, you can do quite a lot with it right now. One thing that is not supported in this case is persisting data across multiple workflows. Technically, you could use project level artifacts for that and then pull those and append stuff. But this is the option that we're looking to explore in the future. For now, on workflow level and job level, we have this new reports tab. Yeah,
Great.
so that's feature one.
Great. I love that it's so simple, but again, simple to use, simple to create, but also super powerful. In the realm of vibe coding that you mentioned, I love that you mentioned it.
Okay.
If you can maybe quickly guide us through documentation, if I would give give a link to a doc page to GPT or Claude or anyone, and express what I would like to see, would it know to figure it out decently? Or maybe this is mainly question for Nick, how the vibe coding of the report that you created works. I think you're muted.
Oh, we cannot hear you, Nick. Well, Nick is setting up this his mic. I can share my experiences because I was playing around with these reports too. I think that ChatGPT or Claude is very familiar with Semaphore environment variables that are available and how Semaphore works overall and YAML structure. So reports feature is still pretty new, but if I give it, it's also familiar with Mermaid.js, by the way, and how it's drawing these different types of charts. So if I give it a pretty basic prompts that say, hey, I want to add this stuff in Markdown, and I'm using Semaphore, and I want to build, I don't know, a Gantt chart that is showing the duration of each pipeline. It can generate a script fairly quickly. However, it sees a trial and error. I needed several prompts in order to get this pie chart that is showing me what Nick did here on the job level, duration of each command in the job. But it took me maybe 10 minutes.
I don't remember us seeing the pie chart, or
no, that's my experience. We decided that the Gantt chart is a better example because
okay,
it's
clear.
plotted more
It's
nicely.
more useful. It's more
Yeah.
useful. It communicates both the okay.
Yeah. Oh, it seems like Nick has problems with microphone. But yeah, Nick, feel free to type down your experiences with vibe coding part for this script. I think that ChatGPT's or any other LLM is doing a pretty good job at building these simple examples.
Great. Nick, I don't know, perhaps you can rejoin. That's one option. I can share the link again. Alex, did we hear Nick in the...
Yeah, it was working. But that's how it goes once you go live. Things tend to stop working.
Okay, how about now?
Oh, perfect.
Works.
There you are.
Rebooting always helps.
Yeah.
Add some spice to the episode.
Yeah. So as for the vibe coding phase, I mean, it did pretty good. with the basic stuff like adding additional debug information. Code coverage is also on the easy side because we already have LCOV file formats that basically have structured information about code coverage. So it was super easy. However, as soon as I tried something more complicated, in this case, that was those agent command metrics and system resource metrics. Yeah, it was much harder, and then that's when I decided to move it into the test result because it's so much easier to do it in like actual CLI than in the bash script. But yeah, as Alex mentioned, the sea of possibilities is huge with this. So yeah, we hope to find some more use cases.
Amazing. Then in that case, let's go to the next major thing, Alex, if you agree.
Right. Okay. The next major thing is generic Git integration or Git agnostic. This is available on Community Edition and will be available on cloud also soon. But for now, if you are using the Community Edition of Semaphore and you update it to 1.2, you will be able now to connect any Git repository. Before this, you could use Semaphore only if you are using either GitHub Cloud or GitLab or Bitbucket as a version control tool. But yeah, you weren't able to use Semaphore if you were using your own hosted Git repository or some other exotic solution that's not neither of these three. Yeah, and now you can, and that's pretty much it. It works based on the PostScript. So Nick and I can maybe set up a project real quick on this session. When I'm creating a new project, I now have this generic Git option, and if I click here, Nick, can you send me the link to the repo? I have
Sure,
it right
sure.
here.
Give me a second.
Nick has the Git server hosted on his own end, so I can name my project Git agnostic. And add this repository link. This is just a regular Git repository. And after this, I will need to send him the SSH key. This key needs to be added to the repository itself for authentication purposes, and I need to configure the post receive hook.
Can you, Nick, perhaps maybe elaborate a bit while we are here on the post receive hook? What was the idea and how it works?
Yes, sure. Give me a second. Yeah, so basically the way the Semaphore works is that we receive those webhooks from various platforms to actually start running the workflows. And we didn't want to change this process anyhow with the Git agnostic projects. That's why we decided to basically do it in a similar manner. So whenever something is pushed on the Git repository, in this case, we create format, that JSON format that Semaphore accepts, and push it over to the create this format. We then sign this message so that we can be sure that this is coming actually from the Git server that it is configured to work with. And basically from that, we build everything as with a regular Semaphore project.
Great. Thanks for diving into that.
Right. So we're just utilizing this Git ability of running a arbitrary script on every push, and that all that script does is just using our API. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. You can configure a project with your local Git, and it was a pretty challenging feature for Nick to implement because we had to redesign some important parts of our system.
Can you send me, sorry, Alex, the actual.
Oh yeah, the script itself.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Well,
So I
let's
can.
configure it continue configuring it in the background. But yeah, that's the feature. Once Nick adds this script and pushes his first commit, after that, this will allow you to allow me to move on and just configure the regular Semaphore project. That's all there is to it. Yeah, you're not limited to any vendor lock-in anymore. So if you want to switch from GitHub or GitLab to some other solution, Semaphore is now available to a bit wider audience. Oh, there we go. Yeah, the rest of it is pretty straightforward. It's the same as configuring any other Semaphore project. So there's no changes there. And that's that. Those are two major features: Markdown reports and Git agnostic. First one available on cloud, second available on community edition only, and coming soon to cloud. Maybe we can talk a bit about what's new in 1.3 and wrap it up.
Yeah, sure. 1.2 is available for installation today.
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
If
Great.
you go to releases, you will see it there. We are working on that test results CLI update that it will be coming in tomorrow, and we'll make these job reports, at least the ones that we showcase here in the demo, super easy to generate for all the users that are on cloud, but also on community edition.
Great.
So yeah,
Cool.
what are we aiming for in 1.3? Our main focus is on two things. One, we didn't really manage to work on that branch filtering and branch page UX in 1.2 as we were hoping for. We added the reports instead, so I think it's a nice trade-off. But we do want to implement those changes in 1.3 and improve navigation on the branch page. This should make the navigation easier for all those users that want to go back in time and see all their workflows, which is a bit of a painful experience right now. So that's one update. We're working on adding a bunch of different filters on that page too. There are several bugs that we need to address and a few other updates that we need to make, but this will be a bigger change. Another bigger change is we finally want to dedicate some time to the developer or contributor experience. So as a start, our next engineer, Veljko, we'll be working on contribution guides and developer guides. With first thing that we deliver in that area is the architecture description of Semaphore app and descriptions for each service, so that if someone is interested in contributing, they can easily find that info instead of rummaging through code and trying to figure things out on their own. So yeah, that is what we're hoping to achieve by the end of this month, or with the release of 1.3. Branch page filtering, a few smaller UX updates. We didn't really lock the scope yet. We may add a few things depending on how these bigger features and updates are going, but we want to leave at least 1 or 2 weeks for that dev experience and documenting things for potential contributors. Speaking of contributors, as a last thing, I just want to give thanks to our external contributor from that improved our 1.2 release with some changes to OIDC token, and shout out to Mr. Cole. I'll just scroll here. Cole Mickens from Determinate Systems improved our OIDC token functionality a bit. If you're a Nix fan and you're in that ecosystem, be sure to check them out. And thank you, Cole, for your contribution to this release.
Amazing. Thanks, guys. Two actually big and very exciting features. So yeah, looking forward to 1.3. Thanks again. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah.